So we'll see if we can squeeze you out. Rồi, thôi thì có gì mình học mai câu tới này là cũng nhá. Mau, mau. Về luôn. Thì này cứ này, thì mình có phải. No here. Hôm nay thì hồi thì nào thôi sớm. Hôm nay thì pagi. Tūranganui-a-Kiwa. Tego nie wolno? Muszę po. Tūranganui-a-Kiwa, tego nie wolno? Or. Anyway, muszę po. Lincoln, tego nie wolno? Tam Tūranganui. Yeah. Tidak saya yeah. Sudah mau ini? Masuk kau. Maksudnya, tahu. Apa ini? Who else we got here? Working every day. Let's go. Let's go. Wow, I can understand your story. Is that why kidding video over there? I'll play one kidding. Who's feeling left out? Who hasn't been named yet? Oh, yes. Oh, that's your two. Why you? No? Didn't put it? Why you? No. Why you? I used to love singing that song. It's my favorite part of the song. Tūranganui-a-Kiwa, tōko maruru atoria. Te araroa, tua tiki tiki makaraka, te karaka matawai. Favorite part. Good matua. Solomon. Anyone else feeling like that? Sorry? Te wahore kohu, te nā koutou, tūwhaki iora. Tūwhaki iora tēnā koutou, te araroa, haere tapiti mai, tēnā koutou, who else? Mātuna. Kia ora koutou. Te wairoa. Te wairoa, tūkuna kia, te wairoa. Oh, good one. Te awa aku penang o te wairoa, kei konei, nā te kime kua, te whakaki, kei roto I whare, ame rite. Who else? Don't do that. Good job. How about who else? Have we got everybody? Kārawe. All right, I want you to turn to the person sitting on your left and say, kia ora, handsome. Now turn to the person sitting on your right and say, kia ora, handsome. All right. All right, let's get this stuff on the road. Now that we're nice and warm. Speaking of handsome, nice little segue, let's bring up our guest speakers. Mr. Phil Kupinger, tēnā koe Phil, Hirirangi Edwards, and he hasn't arrived yet, but he's handsome. Bailey Mac, oh yes, there he is. Ko tātou me whanaunga Bailey Mackie, Phil Kupinger and Hirirangi Edwards, hōmai rā te pakipaki. Oh, hi. Before we allow them their allotted time, their scheduled time to talk to you, we thought we'd just warm, because you're warm, we need to warm them up now. So we'll start with Phil. You got the mic? Is it mic on? Oh, hi. Kia ora, Phil. Phil Kupinger. Tēnā koe. Phil. Me he manu koe. If you were a bird, what bird would you be? And why?
That's a hard one. If I was a bird, I'd probably be a peacock.
A peacock, right?
Because I like sowing my balloons. Probably my mother.
Yeah. Come on, Phil. Peacock, right. Hirirangi. No pressure. Try and pick peacock. Which me he manu koe? Aye.
He one-eyed, one-horned, flying, purple people in a kid.
And why?
He's in the room, we might believe them.
Right, okay, so why answer? Come on. Kazi. Me he manu koe. Te he manu koe.
I don't know if I'd want to be it, but a weka, because weka is the mascot for Poverty Bay, and this year United States East Coast is going to eat the weka.
And he failed to mention that, you know, we're kind of still hard and we used to win the weka ball.
That's right, the weka ball.
Sorry, why did you get it? Pathway Tūranganui, a very important part-time. Back to you. Oh, totally, cousin. Describe your ideal boiler. What is the ideal go-to boiler?
Yeah, this is easy. Definitely pork bones. I'm actually black belt deep down at pull-ups, but simply pork bones, like to cook them for, like, see, I'm a little bit impatient, but my father's taught me, like, you have to at least boil them for 2.5 hours. Kumara, I used to be like into potatoes, but nah, those carbs are no good for you. And watercress, like I like watercress. So my name used to be into doughboys, but not me so much.
Bye-bye. All right, Hiranagi, describe your ideal boiler.
Well, the only airport, if I could check ones on the TT one after to apply the TT. Yeah. The TT is their water. But it's because it's a nuisance over there and they're gonna eat it for us to just take so long. But TT boil up is just something we don't get in our house very often. Has to be a bit of a trade or something for us to have a bucket of TT. And watercress, definitely watercress, or poro. I'm from Taranaki. Poro was the mainstay in our farming.
What's poro in? For those who's from
I have small people pass the whole big poro, and it's a bit cold, it's a bit bitter, unless you rub it in. So my mum used to be the main poro boiler, when she was sick. So,
How about Phil, your ideal boiler?
Fresh is my ideal boiler. Usually day one, being the son of a prison worker, they kind of like 4 days in, the flies hanging around their pot, and then that's when they get stuck into it. But I like my boiler fresh air. As soon as it's out, I'm eating.
do you leave leftovers?
Do you leave leftovers, she's asking?
Yeah, no leftovers in that household.
Hands up, who likes fresh boiler? Hands up, fresh boiler. Who likes second day cooking? Who's your pride though? Well, model. That's another type of mic. Because he's got the mic, I'm going to ask Bailey, someone who influenced him as a child that he holds, in high regard.
I'm going to answer a little bit differently. Not someone who influenced me as a child, but someone who influenced me today. I just flew back from Auckland on the plane, and I was actually, full disclosure, writing my speech. And I was looking for inspiration, and I started listening to Rob's album, Rob Ruha, and Sil Tēnā Kōrua, Tūranganui-a-Kiwa. I listened to the Moho album. I probably needed a bit of divine intervention to help me. But look, I've been, I think as storytellers, as artists, whether it's TV, film, the published word, if you're a writer, I think I was thinking about it. I was incredibly lucky to grow up here amongst people who have, for one reason or another, been able to express their creative talent, including Mātai. I was thinking about it, Rob, loads and loads of people, and I'm not sure.
and revenue. He formed his consultancy business, Next Chapter, in 2013. Now, Next Chapter is a Wellington-based company that specialises in business analysis, project management, and career consulting and transition services. Phil, as a contract business analyst consultant, has worked for a range of private and public departments in Wellington on a range of both information technology, IT, and also complex business projects. Gisborne, born and bred with strong Ngāti Porou and Whānau connections, Phil is passionate about getting more Māori into high-demand technology professions, especially here in his home region of Te Kaiwhakati, e Tiwi, Te Kaiwhakati, Tuatei, Homai Ngāti Paki, Phil Kupena.
Kia ora te whānau. Well, they already did my picking up. I'm actually from here. Firstly, just a lot of gratitude to be invited to this awesome event and to be around some great speakers that are here in the region. It's going to be a great day today. I'm also really passionate about talking about this topic, getting future ready, which is something that I'll talk about a bit later. Further into, on my PPH, we did talk about, I'm from Te Ngāti Porou. So, you know, Heru starts in Papatoa here to Te Kaha. My dad was born in Victoria. I go right down to Waikato Bay and in Whangarā as well. But the main thing for me is that I'm really proud to come from this region. This is my tūranga waiwai. I believe in it, and I believe in our community that's in this region. I've got a whakatūki up here, which kind of influenced most of our lives, especially being brought up here in Gisborne, from up here Ranganata, i tipu area. Whole concept around take the Pākehā tools and really hold what's meaning for us as Māori. For me, the new world is technology is the way it's coming in. It's basically consumed everything we do around here. And it's really about us getting on that waka and taking it, but also holding what's true to us. Yeah, back to my story. I'm going to I'm from a family of 6, born here in Gisborne. Thing with that picture here is like half my family's not here. Mum and dad passed away. I was an orphan quite early. Also, Dad was a hard guy. You know, like for 3-day vendors, he probably invented that. You know, he was a tough guy. But what Dad really taught me about life was about work ethic. You know, he got up every day. He went to Maki at Wether Crown, which is down by the Port Holiday. Every day he turned up for work for 30 or 40 years, and probably a job that you know, he wasn't keen on. Another thing about Dad, he used to play chess. He was a bit of a Rubik's Cube wizard at chess, and I grew up with that kind of upbringing crosswords. And it's always amazing to me when we look in our region and how many of us play chess. All these kind of logical games that we've inherited and we play, which means a lot. I'll talk about my rest of my slide. Over the other side, that's my queen. That's my mum. Now, many of you are here, and I love that. The vibrance of youth and your mind going out into the real world. In my senior years, basically, I buried my mother. I was 17 years of age. Probably 2 days before Christmas, my mother passed away. She died of cancer. Another thing built onto that story is I never went to school. So I grew up probably very shy, very introverted. It means that I didn't really talk for for 5 years pretty much. So me being up on top of the stage kind of shows you my journey that I've had to kind of overcome around shyness and putting myself out there. But what was really the thing about this is that 365 days I was with this woman, day in, day out. What she really taught me about stuff is about tikanga Māori. In a sense, we talk about these terms, manaaki, rakatakatanga, we chuck them around. We would open up our house to anybody. That's the way our party operated. We feed everyone, could be on their last can of pie. It's out to everybody. And that's the kind of thing I was brought up with. Also, like in my mum's dying days, I always can remember, one of the things she did was everyone would come in and she would try and push apple towards you to show her mana. So what I really want to say here is that it is like what I really realised from that whole episode was the power of women, our wahine, how strong you are. It's not always about this, it's about what's inside, getting yourself up, and we have that in our legacy. That's Gisborne Inns. That was our uniform back in the day, Gisborne Intermediate. Yeah, wasn't that flash. That's actually the last year I went to school. So last year I went to school was first school, well, the years now. Went to school and then I returned to school back in year 13 to Ritana. But yeah, typical story. Mum passed away, I did everything. I'm your king of failure. This is the poster child of failure. Didn't go to school, got to university, failed papers, I think I racked up about 30k worth of debt. But the biggest thing I did was I failed in my relationships and my whānau. I was always running away from everything because just the world, just the way life was. And, it was only till I hit rock bottom that I could try and figure things out. Ooh. Lessons that I learned from this journey. I can tell you my corridor, and everyone goes, honestly, but I think I got the secret sauce of life, which was health is wealth. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. When you have half your family members pass away, I realised, that is absolute truth. Also, the second bit is whānau is everything. I really know that. I'm really passionate about our whānau. And when I talk about whānau, it's our mighty whānau, not just my immediate whānau, but everyone that's here. That is really important. And don't be the story. What that really means is that, hey, I was always the misfit, the outlier. Even in my own family, even in my own community, in my own community, I hear people talking, because I was silent and never talk, I could hear people talking, going, that guy's not going to make it, he's got issues. He didn't go to school. And I kind of believed a little bit of that. And that's basically why my journey was failing, was that deep down I kind of had that call. Where I am now. Oh, can't work the machine. I have a beautiful partner. Well, firstly, I'll start from happy. Right there. I'm really happy. I have a beautiful family and home. That's my view from my Wellington house. Panoramic view over Lyle Bay. I went back to university. I got degrees. Started a business, started investing, been pretty successful at that. Traveled the world, every place I wanted to go, I traveled, and it definitely opens up your eyes. But the biggest thing for me is I'm a leader of my family. There's only 3 of our siblings, and I've basically been able to, so I'm the baby, but I've really led in that space, and that's the thing I'm most proud of. My family had violence. We had violence inside our house and violence outside our house. We've taken our kids, I've never seen any of that. They don't see that perspective, and to me, that was one of the biggest achievements I think I've done, and really what my family has done. Guys? There you go. Biggest question is health. Come down to it, here's mum, it's around about belief. There was always one person that was tipping in my head who was going to believe in me. She would say, I believe in you, I think we're going to be a leader. And at the end of the day, I couldn't even talk. And I was going, hey, are you sure you're right? I'm going to be a leader. But she would always say that to me. And for a lot of us out there, it's everyone. It could be your teacher. People believe in you. And if they don't believe you, I believe in you. Right? And the reason why I believe in you is got this key thing here, your whakapapa. Up there is one of my teachers, some of you are like, hey, he's one of the first practicing lawyers. He's out with 18 hata. That is where our whakapapa, we are from, unlimited. Right? That we all are. And my mum always said to us, she said to me, she said, all of us as people will have greatness inside us to change the world for better. Now, whether you realise that potential, that's up to you. But that's something I firmly believe in. And I know it's true because guess what? You know, I didn't believe it, but when I did, things happened. Oh, there you go. You might have to wrap this. Oh, no, other side. Oh, no, that's the same slide. One of the lessons I learned, and I'll try and keep this quick, is that I never really forget where I come from. You heard me. Busy boy, love coming from here, starting by freezing Mecca. It always keeps me hungry. I know where I come from. I know my hood, and basically, I remember my legacy. The other thing about it is I can blame everything. Everyone could blame me. There was times in my life I went, I'm blaming because I lost my mum. You guys don't understand. You've never lost your mum. This is why I'm acting the way I am. In reality, I'm a bit older now. The only thing that really affected was me. So I took responsibility on my actions, what I do, and that's probably one of the biggest hurdles that's been enabled me to get to where I am now. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll just rock with this. Where we are now, basically, one of the things that changed my life was getting into tech. I became a business analyst. People don't know what that is. This is what I'm trying to teach. A business analyst is the person that basically can talk to a web developer, coders, and they basically like the translator between customer and web developer. It's a lucrative business in Wellington. When I tell you lucrative, I'm saying most people in IT, average wage is around 90k when you start. You can be making it really good, 250k per year, because there's a high demand in it. I have these influences over here, chess player. I did a little bit of coding when I was a bit younger, but we need to start early. And the reason why I talk about chess is because I believe innately we have this ability in us to know logic, to know how kind of systems work. I can't be the only one that's here. So, when I look at the phone and you look at play chess, I'm like, we've got budding coders, we've got people that are in IT, particularly in this region. What am I here at the moment? So where am I now? I work for Ottawa. Ottawa is a non-profit organisation, and I started up with a few other guys who are into tech and entrepreneurship. We're working in the regions to try and inspire people to get into different professions, which could be entrepreneurship or could be around tech. My goal here is to build a Title 50 tech workforce, and I'm putting it out there. That's what I'm going to do. That side of there is around COVID. In this world of pandemics, and we're all living through it, technology is going to accelerate. It's not going to decrease. The jobs of today really will be obsolete, and there's going to be some new jobs tomorrow. Some people get a bit of doom and gloom on that. I'm just saying there's so many opportunities out there. For me personally, yep.
Tōrupia. He whenua rangatira. All right. So we'll start with the kupu candles, chocolate, and tihate. Phil mentioned a place here in Gisborne that he works out of. What is the name of that place? Matua. Taiki, Te Ngāpue. All right. This is yours. Awai. Pātai Tuarua. The second question is, what intermediate did Matua Phil attend? And this is for the second prize, E Te Whānau. Kōtiro on back there. Yes? Gesund. It was otherwise known as. Thank you very much. Yes. Well done. Paki. We had to get the full name because voice over here was going, nah. Yes, Gesund, but otherwise known as Gisborne Intermediate.
We got rid of half, we got rid of a quarter. How much we got left? A quarter, 25%. Well, I'll 22, my husband. I'll get you all to still stand up here. So 25%. What percentage of high-tech jobs are filled by Māori and Pacific at the moment? No, not 25. Sorry, you fellas. So all of the rows, all the way, all of you, except for Matsua, Rob Ruha, because my voice, some of your greatest fans that I've got to know that you're talking to me right now. My voice and he might think I'm actually quite cool, so you're not the perfect. So, oh no, you stay out too, no? I tend up. So, these boys who are still standing with our matua is about 1% of all of us in the room. I calculated there's about 280 seats in this place, and there's about 2 of you here. You two represent the Aotearoa Māori who work in the high-tech sector at the moment. So can you just wait to do one matua? Matua no ruha, rana mai te pakipaki o rāi o reka tūna whanga. If I can find you a Bible, I'll find you. So if when Matua Phil talks at the moment about wanting to change Te Whai Rawhiti to be a high-tech space, that's what he's trying to change. He's trying to change that all of us in this whole auditorium all got sat down. We got sat down for some reason. You know, tērā pia ko te kore, hangarau mati ko ki te kura. Tērā pia ko te kare, kare tino o aro, tērā ao a whakau kaiaku. You know, ko te mana o te kaiaku, tino mana, ki tēnei kaupapa. Ko titi o mātou mahi ko ātea, te tautoko i ngā kaiaku, kuri rauna i te motu ingari kai rāwhiti nei. Kia pite, he hua o rātou mahi, he pūkenga tō rātou, aha kua kāre rātou te tino matatau ki ngā mea matipite. So even though our kaiako, you might not think they're digital natives, and you might think your kaiako are not that flash. But what they know up here, what they know from what they learned from their parents, from their papape, and what's in them and their whakapapa, is actually 80%, 90%, 95% of the way to help you through the door to a high-tech world. And that's the mahi development. They're going to give me the day, but I'll try and talk a couple of stories that might help you understand why the hell am I standing here. So a bit like Phil, I was a bit blown away when I was asked to come and speak at Māui Hangaro. I felt a bit whakama. One, I felt I was like not in the age bracket of the speaker of the day for you fellas. I thought, oh, this is not the 1990s Henry model, which was in the 20s. I'm a little bit older now. And then I thought, I'm not that flash when it comes to I understand a lot of tech, but in terms of these mati, it might not be the mati that moves the keyboards, but it's this part of my brain that I hope will help to open the doors for others. I worked in a restaurant, I'll tell you this quick story. I worked in a restaurant 6 months a week while I was studying. This big bunch of Māori came in. I won't say they were big, I'm just saying there was about 20 of them. It was in a restaurant in Wellington, I was a student in Wellington. And every time I saw a table of Māori, I thought, awesome. E whanau me tātou. Aha ko kōwai, aha ko nōmia he Māori. I mihi atu au ki kātou. He paake no titi o ngā tari kaumutanga. I a rātou I ruku ana I kātou mai titi o ngā mātua ki au. So dear, what have you studied at? Are you at university? What have you studied? Ko tātou whakautu atu, oh, kia ora mātua, I'm studying Kongu Somali at the University of Tonki. Oh, that's great, dear. Uki te reo Māori. Kau e kōrero ki āia, don't speak to her. She's the waitress. Te ki o te tibi o ngā wahine ki o te tērā oku. He kākahu, he panikuti whiro tōna. She was wearing this regal red dress, really flash, and, you know, kei runga noa tu tērā tangata. I whakamāti te kraua rā, he looked at me and I said, well, kei te pai. I didn't want to cause any waves, and I was the waitress, and so I took their orders, and then somebody asked me something else, and I cut on my tērawahine. Don't talk to her. She's just the waitress. I tūmatu o tō rātou kai, I tīmata whakatika ngā pēti. Sometimes at the pub, we do at home, stack the plates, you make it easy for, to take to the kitchen, because that's what you do. They started doing that in this Flesh restaurant, and it was Turkish restaurant in Wellington that I was working at. Ki mai te rawahine. Don't do her job. She's the waitress. That's not your job. Don't talk to her, don't look at her, don't do her job. She's just the waitress. Tell what, I was 19. And I picked up the plates and I thought, so I walked back to the kitchen and I thought, I have 3 options. I could smash this plate and go back and give her what for. Or, and I thought that was my alter hero, because this alter hero doesn't do that. With somebody else I was imagining. And then I thought, I could flip, I could tummy. And I walked back into the kitchen, I stopped halfway, and I just breathed. I just took this big breath, and I took this big breath out. And I walked back into the kitchen, put the plates down, and I smiled. And I put my arms up, and I was like, yeah, and I shook it all off. And he kato mai ngā tangata, ngā ringovera. What's happened? Are you all right? You cried. Are you happy? Are you sad? What was happening? And I said, oh, I've just been given the greatest gift that I could possibly ever be given in my career. They didn't understand, but what I knew in my heart, and I said to them, even though they didn't understand where I was at, I said, I will never be her. I will never be her. I will never. I will never see a 19-year-old as a waitress without seeing the whakapapa. I'll never, ever see a 19-year-old and think, I want to chop down that ladder so she can't get up. I'll never be that woman. And I could have been that woman, because one day I'm going to climb a ladder. I don't know what ladder it is, and it might be leaning on the wrong building for all I know. But I know that where I am right now is not where I'm going to end up. I will be up the ladder. And will I be the one who will reach down and yell out and say, let's climb up, Farmer, the ladder's right here, or here's a rope, or I'm just going to build an escalator and pull you up, or whatever it is, but I'm not going to be the one chopping it down. And if I hadn't had that lesson from my waitangi in Tawako, we could have become that person. In my heart, I think, no chance. Because karaho au te reo tōku kuia, karaho au I te pumarihanga o kutupuna, e kore roa, engari ko tāwhi ki atu ki a koutou, a te waka whiki ake koutou ki tō mauna, ki tō anawhiki, kia kaua koutou I mahi ki rau tau wani. Tonu ki tāwi o te iākoe, me o awanga, me o piri turi, te kite I tērā I roto I kite atu. Recently I was on the board of Te Kaurapiri Te Reo Māori. Now, it wasn't because I was a mātanga reo, koera te take kei te apa whakamātiko Te Reo Māori, but ka nongo I tērā tēpu, mātanga katoa rātou Te Reo Māori. Ko te take I tono mai ki au, I roho Merita Māori tau I au me Te Reo Inihari. The Minister of Māori heard me on a radio show, Radio Wātea, and we were talking about business and entrepreneurship and governance. And I said, there's a lot of tika and a lot of teka. The tika tells us how to be. The teka is what can come out of our mouth when we're trying to show off, or we're trying to tell someone that we are something that we're not. But around the board table, sometimes you need to know the difference between tika and teka. And when it comes to governance and looking after organisations and programmes, it's something I asked myself at the time. And I might not be the flashiest person with the flashiest degrees. I do have one, a BA in Harvard. My daughter has more qualifications than I do now. She's just 20. But what I have in me is some signposts that tell me to be a good person and to know the difference between tika and tika. And when you see something as tika, we proper tika. And that's what the minister heard when he asked me to be on the board of Tūranganui. And for the time I was there, 3 years, made a contribution to proper tika, achievements that were not tika, but you know, could be better. So I've heard the bell whānau, and I know that you have stories within you. It's those stories that you will become animators about. But I just would like our kōrero whānau, would you mind to stand up? So whānau, I want you to have a look at these faces. These faces here, turn around, kōrero whānau. Okay, so this whānau is kōrero. I don't like to have it. Kōrero is a profile that was an idea 2 years ago that we together as a whānau of Te Waiwa, and I'm an interloper, married in, very fortunate. We thought, what if we could help each other to create something bigger than all of us, bigger than Auntie, bigger than anyone. So we created kōrero. We had 24 interns who are paid for a year, and hopefully longer, to build their dreams, build their capacity. So it's no longer the two standing up in Aotearoa. This is Wairoa. It's a huge part of our proportion, 30 people out of the town of 4,000. So we can do it in Wairoa, we can do it here, but we need to do it with tika, and we need to do it with maka. Kia ora tātou.
Q&A time, guys, so an opportunity for you to throw some questions at Hene Tātou while we're done. Who's got a question? Ethan.
How old were you when you got the KY?
Oh, well, I got my KY when I was 46, and I got it only a few months ago. Oh, 45. I wish I'd done it earlier.
Bye. Bye. Any more questions? Yes, Matua.
Regarding building up order, what was one of your biggest setbacks?
Biggest setbacks of not thinking big enough in the fact that I've always done everything by rolling up my sleeves, working hard, getting a contract, doing it, getting the skills, all of that. But I've seen other people who've used a different model, which is actually talking to more people, getting more support, getting more resources, and then doing a great job. Neither is right or wrong, but I think that's possibly one of the things that's been a setback, but probably a lesson that I've got to build on. We're going to build on together.
Bye. Wai te rā pātai. Pātai anō a koutou. Any more questions from the floor? Okay. Tānui tēnā. Tēnā rā atu pē hene rangi. Ko mai anō te paki. Okay. Before we introduce our next speaker, just a quick couple of giveaways. Managed to go and find some more tihake. This is a Māori Hangaro tihake. It is S. Stands for stretchable. That's right. Stretch it. Bye-bye. So, if you would like to win this t-shirt, tell me, don't hear Hinerangi, Taki. Where is Hinerangi from? Yes, Tama. Taranaki. What size are you, Connor? Not as small? That's why I asked you, because I would like to see it. They want to put you to take it.
We'll see.
Come back to this great seat. Come over here. Why am I doing one? Why? Tūranganui. Tūranganui, te kia Tūranganui. Hearing it's in for manageable. Bye-bye. Rewa. Tēnei ki hakenei, S for stretchable. What was the name of Hinerangi's pakihi or business that flashed up on that screen for a while? And if you didn't see it well, we are all good idea. Great stuff. Here we go. Atea, come on, come on. Come on. Just for a moment, can we have everybody here too? Stand up, stretch to the side. Arm raises. Come on, and all right. All right, everybody. I want you to take a look at the big screen. Have a listen to this.
What should we need? It's not much needed. Only for the room. We're really what's happening? I don't know. You got the fancy. Oh, you might be favorite. I really learn something there. That's the way to say it. Inspire the nation by our actions. I like that. Because all these items have got a person's emotions attached to them. They come alive. When your heart opens up, then that's what drives the mind. That's your instinct.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our next guest speaker is born and bred on the east coast of the North Island and is a graduate of the universities of Kaiti, Ilminster, and Gisborne Boys High. Actually, graduate might be the wrong word considering he left all those places with no qualifications, other than a skill in eating other people's lunches. He is a former player for Ngāti Pirata East Coast. Check out the handsome dude on the left. A former DJ on Radio Ngāti Pirata in Vilatoria, where his hit radio show Ngā Take o Te Wā was the highest rated show in the history of any show between Hits Bay and Whangarā. In 2001, he became a reporter on Te Karere, and after only 9 months, moved into the role of token Māori on 3 News. In 2004, he became the head of sport at Māori Television, where his awesome program initiatives such as Kauru, The Breakers, David Tua, and Free to Air Rugby League saw the channel's audience grow by a whopping 42 people. Following that successful stint, he launched Black Ink Media, and between 2008 and 2013 became one of the most prolific producers in New Zealand television history, producing over 20 series including With Strings Attached, The Life of Times of Ted Morrison, Sadie Genway, Anzac Day, and of course, The GC, which broadcaster Mike Hosky described as the most violent piece of shit in New Zealand television history. Obviously buoyed by Hosky's glowing endorsement, it went on to set ratings and online records and created a bidding war internationally, setting a record sale price of a New Zealand show to Australia. In 2014, he set up a new entity, Pango Productions, that has continued the strong run of producing high-quality content for local and international audiences. He currently has shows in development or production with all New Zealand networks, including having sold the series Cyber Karaoke to one of the world's largest production companies, Fremantle, who make shows like American Idol, X Factor, and Got Talent. This is an incredible show for incredible coup for a show from New Zealand, let alone one on Māori television. Shows he has produced include All or Nothing, New Zealand All Blacks for Amazon, Moving Up for Netflix, Billy Sticky Tour, Easy X, Class Act, Aotearoa 250, National Treasures, Bride, Spiky Gold Hunters, and Matchfit. Overall shows he has produced are there in 120 different countries. He is a director of Ngāti Piro Group Holdings, Ngāti Piro Seafoods, is on the Māori Media Advisory Group, the board of the Stronger Public Media Governance Group, the Prime Minister's Business Council, former president of Ngāti Piro East Coast, and now a director of New Zealand Rugby. This dude's Superman. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for Bailey Mackey. E mea ana te kore ko hikurani te maunga ko waia ki awa ko Ngāti Piro Tiki. Tēnei anō tukumihi tuatahi ki ngā kāwhakahaere o te rā. Ko koutou ngā ringa raupa, ko tū tēnei kaupapa o tira hei painga, ke puta hei painga mō Ngāti Āpōpō e noho nei. Huri noi te whare kia koutou e noho matāra ana I tēnei ata. Koutou I hara mai te wākanga kia tai mai ki roto o Tūranganui-a-Kiwa, tēnei au kapihi, tēnei au e mea na moku te honore ke tūrau hei kai kōrero whakaoho ho mairua I tēnei au. Kia ora tātou. I was actually just saying that the fact that I wish they had these kind of things when I was at school here. We had a pretty tense careers day at Port Arthur in my day, where all the universities from around New Zealand used to come and try and put you in the box. I remember sitting there and I thought, I listened to a whole lot of speakers and I thought, really, my only genuine option was either to go to Teachers Training College, which I did, but didn't finish, or was to go to Wellington to be a public servant, both of which are incredible and amazing. I'm not trying to discourage them, but I just wish that we had occasions like today. Over the next few minutes, I don't want to get the bell like the other two. Over the next couple of minutes, I do want to talk a little bit about my background. And when I say background, I don't necessarily mean just my work background. like Phil, like you did, I'm going to talk a little bit about my whakapapa. That's got my whakapapa. Actually, what that photo shows is 20 years ago, when I was in the East Coast team, 20 years later, I was appointed to the Prime Minister's Business Council. And what that is that's a photo that includes some of the leaders of New Zealand business. There's the CEO of Fonterra, the CEO of Westpac, the CEO of Mercury Energy, CEO of Rocket Lab, that guy, CEO of Zero, and obviously your boy, the CEO of Parliament. This is the intervening 20 years. This is what happened between the first photo, playing for the East Coast rugby team, working at Radio Announce Today, living, loving life, and the second photo, which was kind of the journey that I've been on in those intervening years. What's been central to this, just like Bill, just like Hinarani, has been whakapapa. I am a descendant, like many of us here today, of Māori Tiki Tiki Ātāranga. Tēnei kaupapa, ko Karangahia, ko Māori Hangaro, kei te mori o tātou, ki ngā kōrero tuku iho mōna. Māori was a provocateur. He challenged the status quo, the norm, and probably, like Phil alluded to, in tech, you have a problem, you solve it. That was Māori. He had a view that the sun moved way too fast, so he and his brothers set up at the edge of the earth, snared it, slowed it down, and allowed us the daylight that we enjoy for 12 or so hours a day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am a Māori-preneur. I am the product of my genealogy, and according to my cousin, Dr. Josie Keelan, a Māori-preneur is, this is in her thesis, by the way, which I actually haven't read, but I got this video. A Māori-preneur is an entrepreneur who seizes the opportunity created in the space left by void in the movement from tapu, space bound by imposed restrictions, to normality whereby freedom of movement exists, and through research, development, and planning, fills that void with product. Translation, we rip shit up. I guess as the story goes, I've been ripping shit up in the, for the last 20 or so years in the content space. At a simple level, I'm a TV producer that makes shows for local and international audience. I create intellectual property that we mainly underwrite locally and sell internationally, whether it be as a finished show or as a format. The biggest game changer in my sector has been technology and how we disseminate and distribute content. With the advent of platforms such as Google, YouTube, Netflix, and Amazon, it's changed the landscape forever. And the one surety we do know is that technology is moving at the slowest it will ever move. It will only get faster. You choose when you want to watch something and by the means in which you want to consume it. The ultimate future by which we will consume content probably isn't even invented yet. But my role as a Māori-preneur is to nurture the potential person who may be sitting in this room to enable you, whether you're riding your horse in Tiki Tiki, playing with your cousins in Murupara, or riding a skateboard in Te Aratu. The key thing is it's on all of us to ensure that we light that fire. Thankfully, while technology is constantly changing, the one refreshing constant is the need for quality and engaging content, regardless of the distribution means. What this means is a massive emphasis on storytelling. I spoke earlier that I was fortunate enough to grow up with some incredible storytellers. Some who, like Uncle Api Mahuika, Dr. Koro Jews, have passed away, but I came through in an epoch that included people on stage today. I talked about Rob Ruha, Martai Smith, all people who, in their own way, are storytellers and have chosen different mediums as their creative outlets. And I guess placing storytelling at the heart of what we do is our ancient truths at home. Everything we do at home is guided by a central document that we call Code Black. It's our DNA document. And effectively, as we know, Panel's Māori word for black. When we started the company, and another couple of local boys, Jose and Rico here, both All Blacks at the time, and we're sitting around wondering what we're going to call our new company, because they were All Blacks, and my former company was called Black Inn. We decided to call it Panel. Now, Panel Black is our national sporting colour, but actually in a Māori context, it represents Te Kore, Te Pō. And in that represents is the realm of potential. And that is the space that we want to play in. And that is the space that exists in front of all of you today. This is our vision at Panel. We want to be the leading content creators in our circle. We're unashamed about that. Driving change through uniquely authentic Māori storytelling with heart. We want to change the world one story at a time. Kia ora tātou. So this is
Oh, there's probably heaps of questions, guys. All right, let's take some part from the floor. Yes? Do they want down easy or you return the stretch? Yep, part-time wine. I'll put that. Of course you do. Yep, big loud voice.
am I jamming rugby this year? Like playing? Hope not. Well, nah, man. I'm not interested in like just get the numbers up, but it's got you. Your triple itself.
Was there a question down there? No, gotta go. Oh, it's over here. Yes.
What was your inspiration?
Okay, part of mine. I got kids, so they're always a good inspiration because they like to eat. So there's a reality to what we do. Now, I think for me, like being a storyteller, and finally settling on a creative outlet that would support me, support my voice, and being able to tell the stories that I want to tell. I think I spoke a little bit about your dad, Rob, earlier. One of the things that I think is really cool is we talk about story sovereignty, and whether that exists in music or whether that exists like in TV or film. And we look at someone like Taika. For me, one of the key things is you reserve the right to tell that story. That's your truth. That's your voice. And it always rubs me the wrong way when I hear people give critique on things, and I'm always like, it's incredibly tough to go through a creative process and put it out to the world, whether it's a TV show, whether it's an album or a film, and have other people, critique it. We're human, we want everyone to love that, but ultimately, that's your truth, and that's your voice, and that's an incredibly tough process. And I've been through it with Marta a few times now, and it's an incredibly soul-wearing process. But one that I should be trying to recommend it, not actually, but yeah.
That's all.
Any job openings for Tūranganui-a-Kiwa?
Yeah, Kazi, what's your skill set? Let's have a job interview now. What do you got? What do you got me? Illustration. Illustration. Oh yeah, me. Okay, good. Let's talk later. Yeah.
Yeah, go in all book away. Don't come here and sit here and then, oh, maybe I should ask, maybe I should ask. Yeah. Yep, next one. Oh, sorry, you want that front here? How long did it take for you to create a company?
The actual creation part doesn't take long. You can just do it all online. But I think one lesson I learned early is like you can go out and you can do amazing business plans. You can spend heaps of time on a logo. You know, you can get business cards for old school, but you can do all those sorts of things and actually not really be in business. You know, and I think sometimes you can do a business plan and all that, or you can just go out and do it. And I'm probably in that's what I am in that second category. That I probably think, you know, it's easy to sit here now, 7 years into Panel's story, and kind of post-rationalise the story, but you just went out and did it. And sometimes when you're in business, you're just running to stay alive, you know, to keep the lights on. So yeah, so it's tough, but incredibly rewarding.
Yep, down the back.
What's your biggest production on the streets?
Oh, true story. I've actually got on with Martin. That will come out probably in about 2 months. It's called 9 Lives. It's a quiz show. And one of the things I love about like what we do at Panel is we don't try and box ourselves into one genre. Like, you know, I watched The Chase and I thought, man, it'd be cool to do something like that. So we're going to make that. And then all I, you know, watched, you know, hunting and fishing and diving shows. Everyone knows me knows I love diving and fishing, so let me do getting sticky to it. So I think that's one of the things that I reckon is really cool about what, you know, what we do is you're allowed to kind of, you know, indulge different passions. And I like the idea that of Mason Jury who says, Māori have many diverse realities. We're not all hardcore, you know, Bill only. We're not all urban or, you know, disconnected to our Papakaina. We've got many different realities, and all of those have a truth to those realities. They're not just a single, you know, we're not a homogenous group. You know, we have different realities, and that's what I like about Panel. We can have something that might be more at the kind of hearty end, and other things that might be just more at the help the game escapist end. Yes.
Touching on what brought before, as someone who's built their own company and has experience over the years with different other companies, what's your opinion on the lack of Māori representation in that industry and how we can go about it?
Yeah, look, I'll just draw my own experience. When I got to TVNZ 20 years ago, it's kind of, it amazed me that all of those, like, there weren't many Māori on TV. So there's Te Kare, there was My Time, and then there was the odd presenter and things on other shows or actors. But you could count, you know, probably 20 Māori on screen out of, you know, 200 roles or whatever. And it amazed me that there was a sense of, we were, I use this analogy in pursuit of a better one, which is, like, while we were outside in the cold, there was a really warm fire on the inside. And I remember one day, like, it striking me, I was like, why aren't we in the, next to the fire? Or why aren't we in there stoking the fire? And it was almost like there was a sense of comfortability about, this was kind of our place. We were given Sunday mornings, 10 a.m., we're given off peak, you know. You know, we're prime time people. We belong in prime time. And we just need, I think, a few more to kind of break those barriers. I think the tide's changing. I think there's a great acceptance of Te Reo, me ona tikanga. So, yeah, So I'm not sure if offering an opinion, just probably just offering some experience in it. I know, and this one thing I'm really proud of, I wanted to make the point today, is that you're probably watching, is I just hired 4 young people from Tairāti, Cody Hawkins from Muriwai, Kenzie Ngātai Melbourne from Hicks Bay, Micah Eckroyd from Town, and Darwin Fox from Vilatoria. And, you know, it's incumbent on me to give our own opportunities. And they've all moved to Auckland, all had to, you know, probably undergo the same journey that Mātai or myself or Rob have had to do over the years. And that's not an easy journey because you're leaving the support system. You know, but what I see in each of them is, like I said before, potential and that massive spark that just needs igniting.
Mātai whakamutunga, last one over there. Spiky Gold Hunters, and what was the other one? Piri Tiki Tour.
Yeah, Piri Tiki Tour. We just filmed another series. We were just up in Te Kaha last week. At the up in the Old Boys versus TTC game, so that'll come out. That'll be on TV3. I think May or something. So Sunday night just before the games, and Spiky Gold Hunters definitely in the pipeline. So really keen. You like Cameron's youth? Love them. Yeah. Definitely keen on another series.
Ka pai. O mai no te paki. No, too cold. Too cold. Ka pai, speaking of dive, we're going to dive out the door very shortly and head out for lunch. Now, just a word of explanation. Some of you may have seen the website and it's got a schedule, and some of the teachers may have printed it off. And so there's been a little bit of a change. So we're going to go break for lunch. It's 12 o'clock. Yes. Well, actually, it's 4 minutes to. Hang on a second. Don't move. Then we're coming back at 12 back into the theatre for our final 2 speakers this afternoon. Now, during the lunch break, we'll have an opportunity to go and talk to some of the exhibitors out there. We're going to have a chat, going to the kōrero, might even get a prize or 2. Speaking of prize, the 2 iPhones, yes, the 2 iPhones that we're giving away, we will give away right at the end of the day, okay? Right at the end of the day when we do the evaluation forms, before you leave to go back to Kura. And I'll come back to you with the details after lunch of how you can win one of 2 iPhones. Ka pai? Ka pai. Go and enjoy your lunch. We will see you back at 12. Sorry, all of those are the winners of those tihate that they can come and see me, please. I'll give it to you. Matua, and there were a couple of others as well. They won the Jandings, etc., etc. Come and grab your prizes, please. Well, this stairwell over here.
Small, eh? Medium. Oh, shit. Kenapa? Oh, hey. Oh, shit. Termasuk senjata. Oh, cool. Really training? Oh, well, sorry. Yeah, tika.
Nā ke tuaki mai te pau, I mea mai eu.
You had to make it carry me to the park.
Yeah,
I know. And then you had to make it to go and make to the park to Karen Brooks. Oh, Karen Brooks? Oh, ka te ka mea te ka patema. Oh, clubs, all the clubs, songs. Take up the bottom. Yeah. And you also want to me?
Tuaiwa, tira mara mai hui. Kone, kiri a sango tira kawe, I was like, why am I
No, they bought it.
very Hare kiti kei o te taura.
Yeah, hi, boy. Hi,
Maka ka wau ngā piki ki roto?
Ai, hoi, mare.
So I'm also just trying to.
Yeah, go back outside, everybody. Yeah, thank you.
You think I've got?
Alright. Coming.
I'll come at the end of the next session and take the microphones for the questions. Yeah, something. But anyway.
Oh, they're totally close.
Oh shit.
Wait, Kelly, can you record that?
Hang on, stage please.
Oh, Oh, I can't. Yeah. No, 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 no. Oh. Should do a better shape. I'll clean up quick. It looks like a.
2021. A couple of t-shirts to give away very soon, and then we'll bring out our final two speakers for this afternoon before you head off for another activation kaupapa, activation zone. We're also giving you the details shortly around how you can win one of the iPhones. They're actually part of the pack, the 2 packs. Kapai? You can sing it back and say 2 pack. Anyway. Right. I just want to take this opportunity to once again thank the Ministry of Education, who are our proud platinum sponsor, Momano Paki Paki. Also to our field sponsor, Start Foundation, who I think have kindly donated these prizes. I give them a big round of applause, as well as the Now, the big question that everyone is wanting the answer to is, how do I win an iPhone? Yeah? Is that what that's the question that's fresh in your mind, eh? But then I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, do you think your parents will let you have an iPhone? Just checking. They might say, no, you have to have a Huawei. Okay, so now then, we're going to the draw to win a Spark prize pack, which contains channels, t-shirt, a whole heap of goodies, as well as one of 2 iPhones. You are to go to the kupu table. Did you see the kupu table out there? Yes, okay, so during the activation zone period, you'll have an opportunity to go back to the kupu table. You are to give them your name, and then they will drop it into the box. And at the end, after we've done the evaluation forms later this afternoon, we will do a draw on the stage, and we will draw out 2 lucky ones. How does that sound? Ooh, that's great. 1 entry per person. Okay? 1 entry per person. So if your name is James Smith, you are James Smith. Don't go and put James, Jamie, Jamie, Tammy. Okay? Because the Haramata can come here. Come on, alright. T-shirt time before we bring on our next couple of speakers, the final 2 speakers. Oh, get on play. We have a large. It's only mild, yeah. We have a large Paki Paki color. Especially Paki Paki for the ears, not for the hour. If you would like to win the large t-shirt, come and tell me the name of, this is what sort of text you're cutting up. What was the name of the show that Bailey announced earlier this morning that I will be hosting? A new game show. Yes. Big loud voice. 9 Lives. Well done. Nine Lives. Yep. TV2 Sunday nights and something. Anyway, well done. For a bonus point, excuse me, they're throwing the t-shirt around. They will share it. You're all going to wear it once. Yeah. One's wearing it on Monday, one's wearing it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, what size are you? Okay. See me afterwards. I'll sort something out. Yeah, case one. Just put it here. Bonus point. What animal has 9 lives? See, if people online know, okay, disqualified because you yelled out the answer. Cat. Okay, so when you're on a game show, you're going to push your buzzer, eh? Okay, cat. You're saying something. Okay, here we go, more taku. L for large, here we go. What is the name of the school Bailey and I attended? Hang on. The name of the primary school and the name of the ball that we used to crash Waikiki with their rugby. History. Okay, here we go. For a t-shirt. Let's go down the back. Okay. Kōrero. The one mōhiti. Don't be at the end of the middle. Yes. Mōhiti means glasses, by the way. Here we go. If you're wearing glasses, don't turn this way. Yes, you. You had your hand up? Yeah. Yes. Okay. What was the name of mine and Bailey's old primary school? Kaiti, otherwise known as Kaiti Hard. Yep. And the name of the ball that we used to win all the time in rugby. Sorry? Big loud boys? Wicker ball, well done. You're going to have to half the picture. Come and grab it. Come on.
Oh, that's right, to you, eh? You ready?
Okay, so come on. Allow me now to introduce our final two speakers. And I think our final two speakers for this afternoon. Please welcome to the stage Ian Mutton and Amber Taylor. Right, so we've got one here order, just to get them warmed up. We're going to ask them a question. Okay, Ian, what if we came to your home, all of us, what would be your specialty dish that you would serve up a whānau kiwi? Specialty dish.
So I'm not a very good cook. I'll save you all on that. But my beautiful wife makes, she makes a really yum lasagna.
That's a good go-to dish at the park. Lasagna. Yep. Feed the multitudes. Tabai. Amber, if we came to your buddy, all of us, rocked up to your step and said, oh, Amber, what are you going to feed us with? What would be your answer?
It's going to be burned.
Oh. Oh, no, you don't want to burn it.
My partner actually does a lot of cooking. If I ever invite you over, it's because he's home and he's going to be doing a pie for you.
What's his go-to dish?
His go-to dish is it's a chicken balti, and it's a Mexican dish, which is like chicken, peppers, it's a little bit spicy but not too bad, and it's served on rice. But yeah.
I can do that. How about you guys? Keen? All right. Okay, next question. So you, Amber, what is your go-to Netflix series or show? Oh, I'm assuming you have Netflix.
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. One, please.
I don't watch a lot of TV. We've been really like this. I'm trying to think of the last series I actually sat down and both watched.
Yeah, binge watch. That's what they call it. You watch it from episode 1 to 28.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the last one that I was seeing was the new Karate Kid one. Series that was probably the one that I watched right through the
Hi. Thank you. How about you, Mum? Right, Ian, what's your go-to Netflix binge watch?
Alright, so have you followed the video of it used to be around American football called Last Chance U?
Yes.
They got a basketball one now. So I grew up playing basketball. Like I didn't grow up much smaller than I am now, because I'm quite short. But I like watching it because it's all these fellas, guys that's been super talented, but they didn't get the chance to either go to the university or college or play football, place they wanted to of their dreams. But it's the opportunity to take the next step, go again. And you see the fellas learn, in the struggles, but the realities of what they go through, it's all wicked to watch them just, go through their struggle, but then also achieve the dreams that they have on the other side. So that's the
All right. Final. My to two one or two number. Kapai. So I hope you might isn't. Kapai. I'm going to ask you about your favourite Māori kai and why, and most unfavourite Māori kai and why. Last question.
First one's easy. For me, I'll really. Yeah. And then by making it look like a really nice photo as well, like my uncle, and it kind of tastes like a donut kind of thing. So yeah, we're trying to heaps of it. It's fair, but it's amazing at the same time. The thing, what I don't like I don't like what's important, but I basically said that this morning. He just up my mummies, and I looked at him like, I don't know if it's good. And then she looks at me and tells me no, yells at me because that's what she grew up eating. So there's a bunch of stuff that I don't eat, but it's probably because I haven't really tried it because I'm scared of what it looks like.
Kapai. Amber.
Favorite part of me will be someone hands down raw fish and any karana, so I love my seafood. Least favorite.
There's always that one or two real grandparents going, yeah, some fishy. You like fishy? Oh.
I've never tried what's before, but I don't think I want to after hearing some of the stories.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I don't dislike it because I've never tried it, but my dad used to have mustard bread, and they always used to stink up the kitchen, and I never got past the smell, so I probably added that.
Yeah. Kapai. Awesome. Let's move on to, thank you, give them a big round of applause. Our first call this afternoon is the head of Māori engagement, aka the Manadator, for young enterprise, focusing on the development and success of Rangatei Māori venturing into Te Ao Hakihi. He has previously held roles with Callahan Innovation, New Zealand's innovation agency, and spent significant time with Te Wānau Aotearoa developing and leading out Aotearoa's inaugural accelerator, dedicated to speeding up the development of Māori-led startups. Ian's money has led him to share time and thought with our whānau overseas in Hawaii, Canada, and Australia, with an emphasis on Indigenous approaches to innovation. His passion lies in supporting our whānau of global Indigenous peoples, and Ian's core role to connect the dots and help build the people who build the opportunities. For Ian, our whānau are innovative by nature, and history provides ample evidence. However, nowadays, most existing structures do not facilitate the means to grow businesses that measure success outside the status quo. He thrives in his work of supporting people towards their definition of success. His professional history spans the corporate education as well as the startup sectors. He holds an MBA from the University of Waikato, and above all that, Ian is also from down the road in Whangara. He's a proud dad to Elijah and Nico, and the husband of an incredible wahine, Talia Homaira, Te Paki Paki, ane e whaia ki nei, ko te kai kore o tuatai, Ian Huss.
Ready to that gets me some questions. I'm gonna trigger on this because I'll probably walk around a bit. So kind of what it really means is I just like spending time with people and like seeing what you guys want to do, what you want to become, and how we can help you get there. So I'm going to start off by saying that my presentation is not flash. I don't have a showreel. I don't have a whole bunch of I don't know, like things that kind of go bang and whiz and all that stuff. But the reason I want to say that is how many of us, when we start doing something, say you don't have this, I don't do that, I don't have that. Because it's not a good thing, is what I'm trying to get. So I come on here and say that I don't have this, and a lot of us, not just Harvey, but we'll kick off every discussion we have, or anything we do, like, I can't do this, or I don't know how to do that. And we start from that negative space thing. So what we want to change today as part of the conversation is making sure that you guys understand the value that you can contribute and the power that you have, and what you can do to like just change the world. So I'm going to go through a bunch of slides. I'm going to get you all the good something for me today. It's not going to be hard out, so I want to teach you something. So if you can just chuck your hand up if you speak multiple languages. Cool. Me. So chuck your hand down. Chuck your hand up again if you like to pull things apart or break things. Me. Sweet. Okay, chuck your hand down and then chuck your hand up if you like to pull. Cool. Loving it, loving it. Your hand down again. Who likes to play games? Sweet. And keep your hand up if you can tell a good story or tell a lie. Or just tell a story, right? Cool. Now, I want you to chuck your hand up again, because anyone in the room knows how to code and develop stuff. Oh, there's a bunch of you. Man. What I'm trying to get at is that you fellas got some pretty good superpowers, right? You can speak languages, you like putting things apart, you like putting them back together, you like cooking, you like talking. Some of us can code, but it doesn't matter if you can't, okay? So the purpose of today, and particularly my course, was realizing that you guys have the potential, you've got the power, you've got the skills already, and if you don't know how to pull them together, that's okay. That's what Amber, myself, the fire did. That's our role. Your role is to come up with ideas and have ambition for the future, okay? So I've done a bunch of cool stuff, but I've also failed in a bunch of stuff, okay? I've made a whole bunch of mistakes, and which is cool, and encourage that. And I guess the idea is that you can learn from those mistakes. So I'm going to take you through a bit of a journey, especially to tell you a little bit about me as well. So I've given a title for this is that the future needs Māori, okay? The future needs Māori. I'm going to chuck my chair again. If I see that one, yeah. If I facing you guys see me right here on the front hand. So I guess what I want to chat about is that the future needs Māori, the future needs you followers, everyone here, okay? It needs you to be who you are, be authentically you, and just kill it. I'm going to share a little bit about myself. Okay, so we'll go through some photos. I'm a lot skinnier in some of these photos. So that's me and my mum and dad. Okay, so that's down in Hamilton. I live in Hamilton, but we're from down the road here. So they're two of my biggest inspirations. Now, the reason I say that is because my dad had 2 jobs his entire life. Okay? He worked at the railways, and like since he was like 15, that role became redundant, so I finished. The next day, all I knew in my life is that he was starting a new job. So he worked hard. They weren't glamorous jobs, they weren't flash jobs, and sometimes the hours weren't always great for a farmer, but he worked for our farmer, and he worked so I could have the opportunities that I get to do now. My mum looked after me for ages. My mum had to drive when she was like 40. I tried quite buzzy, but then mum and dad, for my entire time, was always worked. We never been rich, we never had flash jobs, but they worked hard to allow the opportunities that I guess I get to have. And I was a little bit different growing up. Like, you know, those kids can be kind of everything, like spoiled, so I'm an only child. So I was a little bit spoiled, and I first clicked on that now and realized I was a little bit different than me. I love my career, and I tell them that all the time, but I know that they work hard for me. The next picture up here, so that's my beautiful wife. That's me about 20 kilos ago, when I was a bit skinnier. I know, like, you can tell, right? Like, I'm so wise about it. And these are my two boys, Nico and Aita. So these are the people that help me get to where I am, and these are the people that keep me motivated to do what I do. What I want to share is like some of my passions. Again, 20 kilos ago, I used to box. So I guess what I want to share is that you guys are going to be busy, you're going to do some cool stuff. I'm going to talk about some stuff today that I want you to do for me and for yourselves, but you also need to have things that you enjoy doing. Okay, your little outlets. Making sure that the things that are just for you so you can kind of clear your mind. One was boxing for a while. I'm not allowed to fight anymore. This one in the middle, so I'm not allowed to. So I listen to my darling. But this stuff here is kind of I've been involved in. And I guess what I do for a living, similar to what Martin said, if I get to walk around, meet with cool people like yourselves, and help you build the ideas that you want to become business. What I mean by that is, you followers, Albino, we have some amazing ideas, we have some amazing talents, sometimes we just need a bit of assistance getting it up here. Okay, that's what I do. And so, I've been super blessed and super lucky to travel different parts of the world doing it. And I don't know how, but honestly, I don't know how I found these opportunities or how I found myself in certain situations, but I'm grateful to be able to get here. So, this is with some of our final employees, talking around an indigenous approach to innovation. So, doing it our way, realizing that, look, we live in this world which is around us, but it doesn't mean that we need to conform to that world in order to do business the way we want to do it. Okay? What I'm super lucky with is, you'll see that brother, he's hiding away. So Lee Timothy is one of the brothers who brought this whole program together. He's sitting in this picture here. Maybe he's sitting over here. So we set up a program called Quality a few years ago. It was around inspiring Māori entrepreneurs to actually go and do something for themselves. Now, the idea with that is my goal was to prove that we could build out an accelerator program, which is a program that helps the business growing super quickly in a way that was relevant and reflective of us, not doing it the normal way, Okay? We were pretty chuffed that across the 16 weeks we had together, that time over here, managed to raise about $3 million for the businesses, which was super cool, right? Just Māori doing Māori things in a Māori way, by being good at it and just telling the right. Other finance that I've been involved, but we won't talk about that as much. I want to get to many a bit more because. So this is home, up the road, on the corner. I live in Hamilton, but we try to get back here quite often. And whenever there's a chance to come back, for money in particular, it makes life a heck of a lot easier to come back. So what influenced me is, like I said before, it's gut. It's about those people up here. So my parents helped me get to where I am, and my beautiful family keep me there. I was going to share a little story of when I was little. When I was little, I remember being at home, and I was the kid who was kind of brought up away from my life. So all my cousins were kind of brought up at home, and we moved to Hamilton and Wellington and stuff. And I was that kid who would go back home. My nan would say, if I was going to pick up the rubbish out of my and I was that kid who would kind of pick up a lolly record, one lolly record, put it away, and rub my hands, clean my hands because I felt I want to get dirty. But it's, what my nan would tell me is like, my mother and dad would give me like heaps of stick about it, and my cousins would too. But my nan was, telling me, good on you, boy, and should be a full positive reinforcement for things I was doing to support me. Nan's no longer here, but she's a massive influence on my life, and it contributed to, I guess, what I've become and what I was doing. And she doesn't do anything around tech or innovation at all, we'll never do. But today's not about me, it's all about you fellas. Okay, and I want to make that clear. Everything we say today is around supporting you and how we can help you. So, I just wanted to share a few pictures from some of the crew from Gisborne Boys from last year. So I work for an organization called Young Enterprise. And I'm not going to talk heaps about that and what we do as a company, but I want to show you the impact of what some young people can do in your community when they have purpose. Okay, so people will know Tyre here, across the road, Kane and me. So this is a team here of young men that they mentor to their teacher. Okay, they mentor these young boys to come up with an idea around something innovative that they want to do to support their community. You may have seen some of the pictures around. There's a whole bunch around. Okay? And so their initiative, why they come up with it is because they last year kind of stopped, right? The whole COVID stuff. And they realized that there was a real need in their community for farmers who needed credit. Okay? So they set up an initiative to support that. The reason I bring that up is part of my calling today is to tell you or to share with you a process or a method to come up with ideas that are relevant to you fellows, okay? Because I reckon in this room we've got about 200, 250 young people who are all leaders, who are all entrepreneurs, who are all kind of the future of outside all in terms of running businesses, and I want to make sure that you guys are on that trajectory. Like, how do you guys get there? Does that make sense? Got ish means. So I guess the focus of today, in the next couple of minutes, I won't be able to be too long, is really about helping you all to acknowledge your value, help you focus towards the future, and to make sure next year, and hopefully Liam will bring this coat off our back, is it's not me up here, but one of you getting recorded, okay? Because what we want to do, in my head, what the best outcome is that one of you are up here sharing your message of what this looks like from a young person's perspective, as opposed to me. So, who there was born after 2004? Put your hand up. So I finished high school that year, okay? So for most of you guys weren't even born then. And the reason I bring that up is because I can come and tell you some stuff, but it's probably better to hear it from someone your own age. And also, the types of careers that you're all going to get into in like 10 years' time, I don't know what they are. They don't exist for the most part, okay? So I really need you guys to be leading that discussion. I'm just going to push it really slow. And one more time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a real short video for you, okay? It's about 1 minute long, and it's from a museum in, I think it's Sweden. It's a museum that's all about failures, okay? So what I want to share with you is that you're going to watch this short video, and then I'm going to ask a few questions around why you think some of these things fail. We're going to go through a short activity after that. Bye-bye. See, zero.
I could fill an entire museum with smartphones. This is the Microsoft King cheap phone, cover like that. The Twitter P, completely useless device, people are like smartphones. This is the Iridium satellite phone, too expensive, cell phones are cheaper and better. The Amazon Fire phone had a buy button, people hated it. Okay, this right here is the Vivex. It's a disposable DVD. So disposable in the sense that you buy it, you pick it up, and once you started watching it, you have 48 hours to watch the movie, and then you can play it. This is not a rental, and it's not buy the movie. It's sort of in between. It's not that consumers hated it. It's horrible. What the hell is this? It's an electric facial mask. It makes you as beautiful as Linda Evans from the TV show Dynasty. How? By shocking your face.
Okay, so there's a few products on here, right? I guess the question I have for us all is, those are all products that we don't know about because they failed. Anyone want to take a guess at why some of them failed? Yeah?
Because they would kill you?
Or kill you, pretty much, right? What about, yeah? Was that a bad thing? You bro, good point. Yeah, there we go. So that's my niece, if you want. Shoulder girl. Yeah. Dangerous. Yep, over here. Yeah, and then we lost it for a short bit. You right? A rubbish. I guess, yep, well, two more. You right? I'm just reading up about what I'm particularly. Yep. Not necessary. Yeah, we've got one more.
Because they were realistic in regards to what the target market was looking
for. Come on, here, Brian. But you guys know it, right? So it's stuff that people don't want. It doesn't solve a problem. You know, all these products that already exist, or the products just plain stuff. Like I talked about phones, too expensive to get a technology already exists. That facial mask is called freaky air. You think if you walk in your room at night, the lights are down the phone, it's kind of freaky, it's like, buzzing out what the heck's happening in my room? No. The reason we show that is, or what reason I'm showing that is, I guess for a particular point is, it's on this next slide. So, is that when you have a product or whatever, like you, us all right, we don't buy products. And what I mean by that is, yeah, you might physically buy a glass, but really what we're trying to do is buy something that holds water for us, holds the drink for us. Right? We've got a problem that we need to solve. We can't just put a hat on the tap and take it with you. So customers, people buy solutions to the problems that they have. Am I the first one to go? No? Second, we'll go 2 more minutes there. So people don't buy products, but they buy solutions to the problems they have. Now, what I'll do, and just real quick, is how we, and I want you to do this in your head, right? Just real quickly, you're going to ask me the question, is that how people come up with a business idea or a new innovation is they go through a really simple process, okay? So, what I ask you to do is list any activities or hobbies or groups that you're a part of, or initiatives or things you're passionate about, right? You write that down. I like rugby, I might like kabaka, I might like chess, whatever. Write those things down. It's a really good starting point to start creating a business and an idea from, okay? From here, like for example, here's a few. People might like rugby, gaming, reading, babysitting. They might be from a speaker community, they might be a learner driver, or whatever it could be. And things they might be passionate about is the environment, mountain biking, mental health awareness, okay? So you just write down things that you like doing. So it's pretty simple, right? You've all got ideas, things you like, so. The next part is then to try and pick 3 of those things, or a handful of those things that you're super passionate about. You usually want to be a little bit more, dive a little bit deeper. Okay, and then you start to write down what you think are some of the problems and also some of the opportunities that exist in those areas. So what I mean by that, and we'll just say, these are real examples from teenagers, like people your age, okay? We'll use one on the side. So we had a group of young people who were passionate about their culture. Me, hope you all are, right? What they realize is that sometimes some of the problems that exist is that young people don't know too much about their culture. Maybe where they've been brought up or whatnot. Perhaps their language isn't strong anymore, or they find it hard to learn at school. Okay? Sweet, so we'll say, okay, there'll be something I'm passionate about. There are some problems that exist. Cool. What happens next is, what are we trying to help them with? Okay, let's write something down like this. So, we'll do the little one first. We'll say, people want to help Pacifica families. So maybe it's a culture or a group that you want to help. You want to help them learn about their culture, but in a fun way. Okay, so what we're doing so far is just trying to identify a group or something we're passionate about, where there's a potential concern, and then what we want to do, how we want to help them. But what we haven't talked about so far on this slide anyway is what a product might be or what a solution might be. So what I'm trying to get at, and what we'll wrap it up on shortly, is that you guys have a bunch of amazing talents, right? If you want to start a business or cook up or any store, you can, you've got the ability to. The best place to start is with things that you're passionate about or things that you want to do, and then identify where some of the gaps might be, where some of the opportunities or the problems or the challenges might lie, okay? So what I want us to think about, and I know most of you probably won't do this, but I promise you will at some point, is go away at some time and think about what you're passionate about, what you're good at, what you like doing, and then what kind of challenges exist in that space that you guys can help kind of fill. Okay, because if you can find that, how to fill that gap, you've got a business like that. Now what's going to be really cool is Amber's coming on next, and she's going to talk a little bit around storytelling and how they'll fill the gap that existed to tell our stories. Okay? So I'm going to wrap it up there. I'll be kicking it outside later if you guys want to jam, or you just want to try and get free stuff with me. Like I was just stage, I'll be kick off. But yeah, I guess the final thing is to leave with you all is that you've got the ability, you've got the passion, you've got the skills, all the things the Christians are asking at the beginning are strengths that you have that not everyone has, but sometimes you just need people, say like, got primary that are around you to support you to get there, okay? Bye-bye. So, me, please, see you later. Bye.
Yes. Let's have a stretch. It's a something. Yep. Any part-time? No questions for you? He's answered all just down the back here. Sorry, couldn't see.
Oh, no, very well. I had a pretty easy record. Like, I lost more points than I won, but I never got carried out of the ring, so I was pretty proud of that. I could always walk away.
A pretty losing record. Great description there. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much, Ian. Oh, my buggy. Okay. We'll go straight to our next guest speaker this afternoon. Amber Taylor. She's the co-founder and CEO of Other Journeys, a mobile gaming company that blends the digital world with Te Taiao and Te Ao Māori, inspired by and drawing on Mātou and Māori. Others award-winning games use AR, MR, XR, and AR to promote connection, education, and exploration. Amber is curious about all emerging technologies with a particular interest in data, robots, that's AI. Artificial intelligence, that is correct, that's not a reason. Amber is a business mentor with New Zealand Business Mentor Association, Auckland lead at Singularity U, Auckland Regional Ambassador for National Digital Forum, Ministry for Culture and Heritage, member of the Young Business Leaders Initiative with Ministry for Foreign Affairs and Trade New Zealand, and also New Zealand Scout for USA Female Founded Club. No Ngāti Mutunga, Te Atiawa, Ngāti Whātua, Ngāpuri, o mai Ngāti Pakipaki, Amber Taylor.
How are you all this afternoon? I got the lucky last spot, so I'm going to keep you all awake for at least the last 10 minutes. Full disclosure, I feel like a little bit of an imposter up here with you all because I'm not from Taranaki. I'm actually from Taranaki, so my family's from Taranaki, but I grew up urban Māori in Taranaki, Kogo. So this is a little bit around how the company Other Journeys got started as well, and having grown up with that rich connection back to my papa and back home where my family's from. So I'll talk a little bit about that later on. I have 2 kids, 3 between 2 my little kid Manu who's up there. My son just turned 21 last week, and my daughter is the one holding the iPad up there. Her name's Madison, and it's her 13th birthday today. So Maddie's very influential in what we do, and she runs a lot of our social media and has just taken over the TikTok account, which she loves doing. Son has zero interest in having his face on any presentations, and zero interest in Cheeky actually doing his building apprenticeship, which he loves as well. So I thought the best thing I can do for you guys today is tell you a little bit about some of the cool tech that I've been involved in. And this is stuff that's not really widely broadcasted, so not a lot of people know that this is happening right here in Aotearoa. I thought I'd share that journey with you. But starting right from the very start, when I first got into tech, so I was really lucky. I was around 7 or 8 when I got my first computer, and it was a Commodore 64. And you guys won't know what that is, but the graphics on it were pretty cool. So this is the game. This is Cat Count. And the cool thing with this game is that you ran through communities, you got crushed ghosts, and then you collected points. And it's kind of like the real, I don't know, olden day versions of Crash Bandicoot. So you guys are familiar with Crash? Yeah. So Crash is like the modern day version of Pac-Man. Yes. So this was my favourite game growing up. So when you had to load these games around floppy disks, and what you had to do was write this code that made the game play. So I not only loved playing this game, I loved actually changing games and putting the string of code in. And that kind of got me a little bit addicted to what was back then called computer programming, which is now software engineering. So growing up, I actually thought right back at 8 that I was going to be a computer programmer because I just had this fascination with code, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do this all day, type it in. That wasn't the case. I actually went from wanting to be a computer programmer to forensic science because I got into the detective stuff and I love solving mysteries, murder mystery. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air became pretty big, so I wanted to marry Will Smith, and I was quite content being his wife. I've still got that on the cards, by the way, quite cool. I was going to be an artist, went back to being a computer programmer again, and then I finally settled on computer information systems and business intelligence, which is what the stands for. So those kind of, that business intelligence is around data and how we use that to actually enable us to make better decisions around resources that we have, how businesses can make better decisions to do better, and basically taking all that data and packaging it up and making it worthwhile. So that was kind of like my zigzag across back and forth in tech. I actually did my degree in business and majored in the information systems, BI and marketing, and then I went to work for a university as a receptionist. So I was at AUT for 18 years, and you guys know that rap song started from the bottom down here. So I started at AUT as a receptionist. I worked my way up through the ranks as a PA, and I got into project management, office manager, and then I was in research and innovation for 12 years as a research manager. So that's where my real love for tech came from, especially in emerging tech. So in the research and innovation phase, I was working with all the universities, top professors, and these guys are like experts in their field of science, like world-known experts. So I got to play with the coolest tech, which got me addicted. So that top image you can see up there with the girl with the headset on, she's actually controlling that little robot with the line. So that's a little bit of artificial intelligence in here, and we're looking at brain-computer interaction. The 3D model that's not really that clear on there, we scanned one of our researchers' faces and then 3D printed the inside of his nose. There was no real reason for doing that, we were just walking one day, so we got a bit full ahead. We then took a virtual environment around that nose which showed how your breath in and out works, and it's actually a lot complicated than people think. The dress up there was one of my favourites. So that project was a combination of a fashion designer and a creative technologist. And the dress was actually made for a big charity event that was held in Auckland. And the idea is every time someone donated to this charity at this event, a light on that dress was lit up. So the idea was at the end of the event, the whole dress would light up. So wearable tech was like so much fun. So if anyone with fashion, clothing, wearable technology and sport, it's a good space to get interested in. The drones over there are the drones that we took to Antarctica. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to Antarctica. But the team went down and mapped the Antarctic ecosystem, and then we built the virtual environment around that. So that same technology and those drones are now in space. We licensed that to NASA, and I think they're exploring Mars. I don't know if it's right now or if they're back, but that's where those ended up. We built chatbots, giant chatbots, and we programmed them to say different things at events. And for one of the events, we put Android's full on it. My boss wrote me for that. He didn't like that coming up there. And then in the sport tech space, I actually got to learn about all the technology that helps our New Zealand Olympians and the All Blacks, and what actually goes into their training, because it's not just being out on the field running around, there's a lot of tech that's been hidden there. So of all the cool things I got to play with, there were driverless cars, the agri-tech robots, what else did we do? We set up satellites all over the place to capture images, we matched traffic. My favourite part was Star Wars and motion capture. So, wow. We built our own Star Wars game. This is another, actually, by the way, this is one I ripped off the internet because our photos were really good. But this gives you the idea of what we were doing. So in virtual reality, you had your own lightsaber and you're actually fully immersed on the Death Star and you could fight storm troopers. So that's what we used to do at lunchtime when we got a little bit bored, was go down and play motion capture. Of all of the technologies that I got to work across, the one thing that was missing was culture. Like there was just none of it around, and then knowing what was happening in the virtual world or in that augmented reality space. So who knows what augmented reality is? Okay, who knows what a Snapchat filter is? Yeah, that's augmented reality. So in that space, there was nothing at the time we launched Other that actually resonated. Like there were no brown characters, there were no actual brown people in a immersive tech until we came on. So it kind of drove the passion to start Other, and it was when I met my mate Isaac, and we started talking, and we talked about like my history growing up there in Māori and the disconnect from the land and all these rich cultural narratives that had kind of been lost or passed away with KMH. That's when we started looking at tech and we're like, okay, how do we use tech to actually do things better? How do we make our stories more relevant, bring it into the 21st century using these tools that have been developed, but making them out? So our first app was Mana. When we launched Mana, it was the first ever bilingual AI triplet in the world. So we actually got invited to Hong Kong to showcase Mana at their largest tech conference, and it went down really, really well. So Mana is now in 65 locations across New Zealand. He's in 5 countries, Hong Kong, Hawaii, the Cook Islands, Australia, and the other one that I can't quite remember right now, but the one is fun. Where they're all learning about the motherfucker and our stories around the motherfucker and the sort of associated with that. Second up, we built AMK Rangers. So AMK Rangers is an environmental finance game that you play. The cool thing with AMK Rangers is we just run a big internet